Thank you for joining us at Region 7 as we give a brief overview of the Certiport website. For this overview purposes, we're going to be using the Internet Explorer web browser because Chrome sometimes doesn't open Adobe PDF depending on what version of Adobe you're trying to open. And so that functionality doesn't work correctly for the Certiport website. If you would go to www.certiport.com, type that in your web address at the top. This is also the landing page where you log in if you're a teacher and you've taken students here to the Service Center to take exams. Then you would log in here as well to be able to review the account and look at the student results. But starting here, we're going to just go over to the Products tab. We're going to start with Adobe Certified Associate. It's one of the exams that we offer here at Region 7. And as you scroll down the page, you'll be able to see a few different sections. Over here on the right-hand side, they have the graphic representation of each exam, and as you scroll over it, you can see what each of those abbreviations stand for. Of course, I'm sure you already know since you're teaching these exams to the students. But you can also click on each one of those, and it'll take you to a page with information about that exam. And we'll just open one just so you can see. I'm going to close that out and go back to this page. There is an ACA Frequently Asked Questions section at the bottom, and if you click that, it brings up a 2-page Frequently Asked Questions about the ACA exam. It's just a short little information that you might want to pass out to your students or parents as well. There's a section for students on here where students can learn more. If they have internet access or access at a library, they can click there and learn more about the ACA exam. There's also an area for teachers, and that's what we're going to click on today. So I'm just going to click there. And you'll notice that on every one of these pages, they kind of give a brief summary of the information, and then towards the bottom is where all of the links and videos will be stored. And so what we're going to do is kind of go through some of the links at the very bottom of this page. We're going to start with the ACA study packets. I'm just going to right-click and open a new tab. That way I don't lose this page. It's easy for me to get back to it. On this page again, there's the brief information at the top, and as you scroll towards the bottom, there's a listing of each type of exam in the study packets. And then there's a link, depending on what version of Adobe you have, CS6 or CS5. Adobe discontinued the CS4 exams this last year. And so we're just going to pick one of these as an example just so you can see how it kind of pulls this up. And we'll do visual communications using Adobe Photoshop CS6. It's probably one of the most popular exams. And it's going to bring up the Adobe Education Exchange page. This is something that if you don't have an account for, it's free to log in and free to sign up. There's a lot of videos on here, study guides as well as tutorials. I'm just going to scroll down so you can see what's on this page. And we'll close out of this. And this one as well. And then we're going to look at the ACA objectives. Now this page gives you a little information about what Adobe and Certiport expect students to know in order to pass the Adobe certification exams. And so again, they're listed down here at the bottom graphically as well as spelled out. And we'll just look at visual communications using Adobe Photoshop. I'm going to right click again. And here you see the list of the different areas a student will need to be proficient in order to pass the Adobe certification exam for visual communications using Adobe Photoshop CS6. And towards the bottom, again, you'll see the links. There's visual communications using a Photoshop CS6 PDF, and if you open that, it will pull up these great little study information that can be downloaded. This is the introduction, and you just slide over to the next one and click on it for it to come up. This is a listing of the exam objectives. Some practice materials, and these are downloadable. You just click this little arrow down button here to extract a folder. And I saved mine to the desktop, so I'm just going to go there now and open up that folder so you can see what it looks like when it downloads. There are different little page tutorials. As you can see, how to add text, how to color management. You can open one of those and see there's several pages that go step by step, and there's usually pictures in here as well that can show you where you're supposed to be opening the different settings. Just going to close that out. That'll be a good tool for you to use in your classroom with your students. And so each one of these lists the objectives for that particular exam. This one is using Adobe Premiere Pro. And again, down here at the bottom, there's a PDF version of the objectives if you would like to save that, then also preparation materials. So we're just going to close out of this page, and we're going to go to the ACA curriculum. Scroll to the bottom. We'll start with the digital design resources from Adobe. This is where I created my Education Exchange account previously. And as you look towards the bottom of this page, when you create your account, it asks you if you're interested in learning or teaching and what subject areas. And depending on what you choose, there's going to be a list of learning opportunities as well as teaching materials that others have uploaded to the site down below. This is a great tool, and this is all free. So I'm just going to close that out. This is something that you would need to explore on your own depending on what topic you're covering in your classroom. And we'll just close this out as well. And now we're going to go back up to the Products menu and look at the Microsoft Office Specialist. That is the other exam that we offer here at Region 7 Service Center. And the landing page for this is 2016 because Certiport just recently created the exams for 2016. And if we'll scroll to the bottom to where the links are, we're going to go look at best practices. And again, scroll to the bottom, very bottom. And then you have the option to look at other areas besides 2016. Just open both of these because most of our districts are using 2013 and 2010. So it's going to bring you to a Certiport page, Microsoft Office Specialist 2013, a little overview. Again, a picture listing as well as written listing of what exams are offered for each program. There's another exam demo for Microsoft Office. And on the right-hand side of the page, we have more videos of success stories. And on the left-hand side, we have a link to find training resources. This is going to take you to the Microsoft page. And we'll just use Word as an example. And here, again, you can choose the version that you're offering in your classroom. So we're going to choose Word 2013. And each one of these, depending on the level that your student has learned Microsoft Office Word as a beginner or an intermediate or advanced, there are different tutorials here. So we'll just do a beginner, create your first Word document so that you can see what that looks like. And there's a video here, very short little segments that describe and instruct you on how to create your first Word document. And again, these are free tools available to anyone with internet access, and so your students can access these at home or from a library, or even on their phone, as well as in the classroom. And that covers the brief overview of the Certiport.com website, where you can find useful tools and resources to help you in your classroom with either Adobe Certified Associate exams or Microsoft Office Specialist exams. As you delve into some of those other outside website resources such as Microsoft Office and Adobe Learning Exchange, I'm sure that you'll find some great tools and reference materials that will be exponentially helpful to your students as they aspire to attain a certification. So I'm just going to close out of this. My name is Tanya Hicks, and I am Adrian Knight's secretary. He's the CTE coordinator here. If you need to contact us in the future, you can go to www.esc7.net. I'm going to show you that on the screen. Click Departments, Federal Programs, and Career and Technical Education. Towards the bottom of the page is the contact information for Adrian Knight, his phone number, and if you click this link, his email address. You can also see that pop up towards the bottom of the screen. We'll go back up to the top of the screen. Just want to show you a couple of neat things that are also on the CTE website. There is a link to Adrian's CTE Life Binders and also a link to the CTE resources that we pass out throughout the year, and a link to the upcoming events for the 2016-17 school year. Again, my name is Tanya, and you can contact me at 903-988-6848 or thicks@esc7.net if you have any questions. We appreciate you for joining us for this brief overview today and hope you have a great day.